be joining us soon. A band of vipers playing our tune. With an iron fist and a reptile hiss, we shall rule. We're tired of words, we've heard it before. We're not gonna play the game no more. Don't tell us what's right, don't tell us what's wrong. To learn to resist, cause Cobra is wrong. We're cold, slender, heavy metal machine. Through the eyes of the laser, Kingdom will free. With the venom stings, a new order brings our control. We're tired of words, we've heard it before. We're not gonna play the game no more. Don't tell us what's right, don't tell us what's wrong. To learn to resist, cause Cobra is wrong.
Hello, everyone. Awesome sauce. Hi, everyone. This is this is Blind Adam Wonders, the clueless host of Awesome Sauce Radio. I hope you're having a beautiful, blessed, amazing Wednesday evening. I hope you're all staying cool. If you have any elderly relatives, or please check on them, make sure they're cool, because it's brutal out there. Before we bring in our special guest for the evening, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the official pizzeria of Awesome Sauce Radio. That would be DeMarco's Pizza. DeMarco's Pizza is located at 1926 Union Valley Road, Newark, New Jersey, 07421 973-728-1344. Their food is amazing. It is delicious. Once again, please mention Awesome Sauce Radio or Blind Adam for a free order of garlic nuts. And once again, that is DeMarco's Pizza at 1926 Union Valley Road, Newark, New Jersey, 07421 973-728-1344. DeMarco'spizza.com. Tell them about that I sent you. Now we're going to bring in my special guest. He is a legendary voiceover artist. He raised some of us with legendary cartoons. He's an author, a poet, a film director. The one and only Zartan himself, Zack Hoffman. How are you, sir?
Very good. Good to be here. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing great. I wish I had a time machine to tell the 12-year-old Adam that one day this was all going to work out for him at this point. How are you this evening?
I'm having a great day, and it's beautiful here in Seattle. There was no tsunami, so people calm down here. Played a little mixed doubles senior tennis this morning, which is always a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So you're best known for playing Zartan from G.I. Joe. How did you audition or get the role of Zartan?
Well, I was working with, I got very involved in improvisational theater, improvisational comedy, I guess. I was working with a group called the LA Connection, and we were doing improvision. We were taking old bad movies and dubbing them live in front of a live audience, and it was really a lot of fun. And we were doing The Bride of the Monster, which was an Ed Wood terrible movie, and we were making it up as a James Bond film. And I was playing Bond, James Bond. And I was over at Michelli's, a restaurant in Universal City, and I was sitting at the bar with Wally Burr. And I was telling him this story, and I was doing my James Bond for Wally. And his eyes get wide, and I go, "What?" And he said, "We can't find a voice." He said, I got a character and we can't find a voice. So, come in Monday. And he gave me a picture of Zartan, which was the artist's drawing, and told me that he ran a crew. And I went home and I did some research, and I worked it out, and I got a voice, and I came up with this voice. And the rest is showbiz history.
That is amazing. So that's how you came up with the voice?
I came up with the voice. He said that he ran a crew, and I love reading, and I love science fiction and fantasy. And I had a copy of Clockwork Orange, Anthony Burgess's novel. And I read the beginning, which is in Alex's voice. And that influenced me because and I can't think of the name of the boys that he called them, but they were at the milk bar. And it just was like very much Zartan running a crew. And then the other thing, I knew that it was that it wasn't dead serious. That this was that the comic tones of this was going to have to enter into it. And so I liked this character from The Merry Wives of Windsor, Falstaff. And so I sort of pushed Alex and Falstaff together and came up with Zartan.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So did they have any? So that's all they gave you was a picture to start with.
That's all. Yeah, they gave me the picture, and then they told me, that he was the leader of the Dreadnoks, and that he lived in the swamp, and all the things that were Zartan, the sunlight, and that he had the power of invisibility, which seemed to go away during like in the third season. There was no more invisibility, but who cared,
Yes, I think the last time the only episode I remember the invisible being a factor was in that one episode where where Zartan fights a spirit.
Right. Yeah.
So outside of Cold Sliver, what are some of your favorite episodes?
Well, I hate to be an egotist, but Countdown for Zartan. I mean, it does have my name on it, but I love that one. But I like other episodes. I like episodes that, like Roadblock is probably my favorite character. And Kenny Holiday was just great. The five parters. What was it? The Pyramid. Something the Pyramid. You're asking me to go way back to the Wayback Machine, right? The Pyramid. Yeah,
Like
the five-parter was fantastic because that's how I grew up on that. I grew up on the old serials from the 40s, which was Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen, Zorro's Fighting Legion,
Buck Rogers.
Right, Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers. But I liked, Commander Cody and Rocket Men of Mars. Those were really great serials, and they used to have Saturday mornings. When I was a kid, they had a thing called the Cliffhanger Club, and they would show these old 40s things, and they would end, right, like a car going over a cliff, and you're going, well, he's dead. How's he coming back next week? But, next week they show it, and he just jumps out of the car just in time as it goes over the cliff. And those 5 episodes, they always ended on a cliffhanger. And I just love that. And I love that we were doing it. The writing was really good on the show. The humor was good. and then you had, and honest to God, first of all, I don't give the people who draw the comic books enough credit. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. But then Chris, not only was he a number of main characters, but he was the Cobra Commander. And the Cobra Commander was the glue for that series, because he melted down every week, and then he tried again next week. You know, Chris was so good.
How badly did he like ruin his lyrics between Cobra Commander and Starscream?
Sorry, what? I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Like, how bad did I always wonder how he got that range of voice for Cobra Commander and Starscream.
He's
that high pitch, which to this day I just like. It still brings me back to 12-year-old kid in me every time I hear it.
Right. And some people have this wonderful tool that it's unmistakable, right? His voice is unmistakable. He had a great tool. There, you know, he could do different voices, but yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing as Cobra Commander, just phenomenal. And then Arthur, who is so different, right? As you know, Destro, you know, so different. That pairing, just fantastic.
Oh yeah, so I watched one of the Serpentor episodes about a week or two ago, and it really still holds up. You know, as a series.
Yeah, it was really it was groundbreaking in so many ways. I'm glad to be a cog in that giant wheel called G.I. Joe. Just think of the female characters that were introduced: Scarlet and the Baroness and Lady J.
Lady J.
They're very different than anything else that had been on TV at the time. You know, and Neil Ross's Shipwreck, always hilarious, always great.
I had Neil on about, it's got to be 2 years ago now, and I finally got to tell him how that there were 2 episodes of G.I. Joe that freaked me that bleep out as a kid. They're the Springfield episodes where all the dummies melt at the end.
Right. The synthoid.
It freaks me out still to this day for some weird reason. You know, Neil played like 3 or 4 different characters in the show too.
Yeah.
Didn't he play under one of the Dreadnoks?
He did. He was there singing Cold Slither right next to me and Michael Bell and Chris.
Michael Bell, the man of like a million voices. Who one day I hope to get on the show. He's actually one of my dream guests.
All right.
Because I was looking at his credits on IMDb. I saw a cartoon that I grew up on that he wasn't in.
Maybe not. He did them all.
I was looking back in the mid '80s. I was like, "Holy cow!" I started looking at the credits. You're also an author and a poet. You have any new poetry coming out?
I have a website called zackhoffman.com, which is my name with a .com at the end. And I post a poem, try and post a poem a week. And if I'm not posting a poem, I'm posting some of my writings. I have a bunch there. I have a book called Late Model that you can get, and it's all on the website. So I invite you to come on down. I just wrote a poem about the restaurant business. So
check it out. I haven't been on the website in a couple days.
Come on down.
Yeah, like I said, just been busy. I can't always. Sometimes, some days I get to check it out. Sometimes I don't. But after a couple days, it's nice because I can just binge on a bunch of stuff while I'm there.
There you go.
Yep.
I'm trying to put up more pictures from I was at 2 cons recently, one in Augusta and one in Dallas. And the one in Augusta, I was supposed to have I don't know what they call it, a banner, Zack Hoffman, the voice of Zartan. Yeah. And I didn't have a banner, didn't get done, didn't get finished, couldn't get into Georgia, whatever the story. I didn't have it, but they sat me next to Sergeant Slaughter. So who I've met before, and he's probably one of the greatest guys I can't say enough about Sergeant Slaughter. He is just the best. What a professional, what a great showman, what a lot of fun. And
I met him for the first time back last month at a Garden State Comic Fest. And I was expecting them to be like his TV persona.
Yeah.
And he was extremely sweet and nice. And I was like, and then I went to this convention by myself, and I'm walking around and I'm trying to get my bearings. And all of a sudden, I got a tap on my shoulder. He's like, "Excuse me, Adam. It's the Sergeant Slaughter. Can you help me finding something?" And I was like, no, thank you. I think I'll be all right. He's like, why don't you just sit down for a minute just so you can get your bearings? And I was like, I wasn't going to say no to Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
And then, but it was like twice, and that actually happened twice that day at the convention. I was like, this was pretty sweet. And I thanked him the whole 9 yards.
He's a great guy, just the greatest guy. And I said, I don't need a banner. Sergeant Slaughter is like having a neon sign next to me, right? And we'd go back and forth as Zartan and Sergeant Slaughter. And so, there'd be, people wanting to get stuff signed, and I'd be, and I'd go, would you like me to sign that for you? And Sergeant Slaughter at the next table leans over and he goes, "You can write?" So that kind of stuff went on all day long. I was pretty happy.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd like to put up some pictures of that, and I'm always fooling around with my website.
That's awesome. Speaking of the convention scene, you have any other conventions for the rest of the year coming up, or?
I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I think next year I might do one in Southern California, and if they ask me to come back to Dallas, I would do it in a New York second. They were the best. Greg Brown for president. That's all I got to say.
You know what? I'll one of these days I have to do get to a convention in Dallas one of these years.
The Dallas Fort Worth one is really great, and he brings in which he brings in the guys from Hasbro, which I've never got to hang out with, and so I did get to hang out with them this time, and they were just the best. And these are the toy designers, and they were just awesome.
That is amazing. What do you think of all the modern love that Cold Sliver's getting right now?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. It's such a happy accident. I had no idea, that when we did this, it'd have such legs. But then when you watch it, and it's if you got to hear one of these days, it'll just be me and Michael, Michael Hill. Now I'm blowing his name, and he's going to like come and search me out. But the writer of the show, and now I got to like look him up. But Michael Charles Hill. They asked him to pitch three scripts, and he'd worked on two, and then this was a throwaway that he didn't think would go, and they went, "Oh, that's the one. That's the one we want." He goes, "Oh my God!" And then for us, I guess they thought, well, that's like they were going to do. You saw what when the G.I. Joe sang, it was sort of that canned stuff, and that's what they were going to do for Cold Slither. Well, I've been on stage. I'm a bass baritone. I'm trained, and so I'm in the studio, and I go, I can sing, because I was full of myself. I can sing. And the other guys just looked at me like I was out of my mind. And and they went in the back, like you can't hear them. They're in the back studio, and they were like pointing at each other. And then they go, Monday, 10 o'clock. And they booked us. And I thought at Monday, 10 o'clock, we'd be there with the band. But no, the track was already pre-recorded. So we just screamed our heavy metal lungs out and had a great time. And then, I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't Def Leppard by any stretch of the imagination, but it wasn't supposed to be. Because of the mind control that's going underneath the music. So the fact that the music we're a little off at points and stuff like that, it works so well in the episode.
Like I said, I'm really surprised in 2025 between you see the action figures they dropped at San Diego?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, they dropped the beautiful box set.
The box set I've seen. And I have from Super 7, I have a Cold Slither Zartan.
Nice.
But yeah, the box set's amazing.
Yes, I'm still waiting for mine to be shipped.
Very good.
And I had a buddy of mine. I was like, he goes, you need me to bring you back out here pick you up anything at San Diego? I was like, I just need one thing. And he's like, I'll try. And he actually came through, so I'm really happy.
Now, does the album come with it?
I don't think the album comes with it.
See, I think the album should come with it.
That would make sense. But do you have any memories of working with Burgess Meredith in the G.I. Joe movie?
No, I didn't get to meet Burgess Meredith. I got to Leonard Nimoy was walking out and I was walking in, so we sort of crossed paths. I got to say hi and how much I enjoyed Spock, and he went, and who else was in the studio? I can't remember, but the studio I had worked in for a number of years, it was Paramount Recording Studio, and it was owned by the Brolins, that family, the brothers, James and I, of course I knew them, so that's where I sat. I sat in the office with the Brolin boys, and what a great place to record. And I was doing Spanish soap operas into English at Paramount Recording Studios way back when. That's how I made my bones.
That's awesome. Yeah, is it true that you had some part in the adventure of the movie The Adventure of Pee Wee Herman?
Well, in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, I played Jerry the director. So when he comes to get his bike and dresses up like a nun, I'm trying to direct a scene, and there's the little kid from the Wonder Years, and a number of people, and I got to be the director, and he gets to steal the bike, and I get to say, "Stop that nun."
That's awesome.
It was a good day. The best part was I knew one of the grips, and he took me to see the. Is it called a MacGuffin, where like when he wakes up in the morning and to get the toast and the things that go around. It was actually built. It was phenomenal, and that was on the set as well.
That's great. You have any fun memories from being in The Fugitive?
No, I mean, yes, no, it's it was a job. I mean, and yeah, I get knocked out in it. That's it. And not when I moved to Seattle, I thought, well, I'll probably sell shoes here. I'm not going to be an actor. And then within a short period of time, I had an agent, I was doing voiceover. And then all of a sudden, the agent goes, would you like to do print work? There's a TV show coming, so I got some bit roles. But it was all, gravy at that particular point. I was doing a lot of voiceover for Microsoft and University of Washington. I did Mariner commercials and Seahawk stuff. It was really great. I really had a great time.
Awesome. Can I ask Zartan a question?
Huh?
Can I ask Zartan a question?
You can. What would you like to know, blind Adam Wonders?
I would like to know, if you gave it, how come none of the villains got to give PSAs?
Well, we did do PSAs, but they wouldn't put them on television. We were very angry about them. Torch, especially. Hey, kids, look, these are matches. Go, play, have a good time. Torch, show them. And the more you know, the faster it burns.
Thank you. Because some of those PSAs at the end, some of them hold up. Some of them is like, okay, this is the 1980s.
Well, they never, we were, everybody who was on the side of evil never got to do any PSAs. What could Destro have done? I mean, really.
That's true. I was thought just that one kid is, come on, can we just have one villain give one lesson just once?
I am sorry, no. Time out.
Yeah. So again, that's the case. Amazon, stop. Well, where can my audience find you online?
ZackHoffman.com. You can always find me.
I know I said this when we were, in the backstage, but I just want to thank you A, for being a guest, and B, for all the years of entertainment.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Happy to have done it. I got, like I said, I got lucky and got in with a group of people that it was the right group of people at the right time. And we're still celebrating G.I. Joe, the real American hero. Come on.
Yeah. This has been a dream, a real dream come true tonight. So thank you very much.
Well, one last Cobra, and away we go.
All right, have a good night, Zach. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam. Good to meet you, buddy.
Good to meet you too, buddy. And now we're gonna bring in my tag team partner, the one who keeps the show on track, makes it look good. The one and only JB Wheels.
What's up, guys? Hold on, I think Zach's having an issue backing out.
Oh, really? All right.
Just make sure. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
He figured it out. Yeah, what's going on, man? I'm just kind of just sitting back here, man.
Like I said, I'm getting to hear him in character do the PSA is still kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Sorry if I cut you off, but no, that was probably the coolest one. That was probably the coolest one, especially for you. Like that was probably the coolest one.
Yeah, like I said,
even I had like an audio issue in the beginning because I was making sure you were good. I forgot my audio wasn't muted coming from my computer.
Mm-hmm.
But like just like running the intro, and I could see like him smile in the background while I'm running the intro because I'm like, wow, like this guy remembers all of this. And there are times where like certain people forget all the stuff that they did, but like you could definitely tell like that Zartan era for him might have been life changing. So that was the coolest one you did so far.
This is I've been doing this now for 10 years.
Yeah.
And this is the one interview where, because I sent them the questions just to, I tell you with every guest, do you want me? Is there anything in this list of questions you want me to ask, or shorten, or just ignore because it's off limits to talk about stuff like that? Right back is like, I don't like to prepare for interviews. I noticed the first 3 or 4 were about Zartan. We'll have fun talking about that.
Yep.
Talk to you on Wednesday. Bye, Zach.
Yeah.
And that's what and actually the cool thing about that is it relaxed me the first time where I said to myself, all right, this is a blueprint, not a script.
Yeah, no, and that's
first time, and I think that instead of being a little starstruck, trying to tell like the 12-year-old kid that lives inside me that, hey, this is a job, type thing.
Yeah.
Because there were times that I was really geeking out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could definitely tell, like, when he was doing the Zartan voice, when you're like, yo, can I ask Zartan a question? You were like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
But, like, I prefer to do, well, when I was doing interviews that way, like, I would rather prefer just letting it be a conversation instead of a Q&A. So.
Yeah. And actually, I've noticed that in the last couple of interviews, I've gotten much better with that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, because they're more up your comic alley, so it's a lot easier for you to just be free with it.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I write the questions. I use it more as a blueprint than as the gospel.
For sure.
So, like I said, you were on last week.
I wasn't on last week. I was on the week before last week.
Yep. So, have you seen Fantastic Four yet?
I've seen it twice because I knew we were going to talk about it today, and since I missed it last week, I said, let me go see it one more time. So yeah.
I actually thought it was an awesome movie.
I liked it. I mean, I understand the job that it's doing. You know, I can appreciate the slow build. That was the movie. Honestly, I think it did the correct job that it needed to do. I'm very excited to see where the story goes with Franklin and things of that nature. From
Yes.
my perspective, I mean, there's probably people that have seen the movie and were like, I knew this was gonna happen. But like I said 2 weeks ago, I'm somebody that rather learn from the movies and stuff like that. So I mean, with Spider-Man 4 being the last thing till Avengers Doomsday, I'm like really excited because I could definitely see them running a Fantastic Four sequel other than Doomsday, just to see maybe a post Doomsday.
I actually think I'll get Fantastic Four post Secret Wars and whatever they're going to do with the Marvel reboot.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, it might be a while, but
some of my fears about the cast were alleviated. I thought Vanessa Kirby did a phenomenal job as Sue.
Phenomenal job.
Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch is probably one of the best Human Torches in the history of the character. There are times Herbie got on my nerves, but it's a robot.
It's a robot, dude. No, but what I really appreciated was like it didn't seem like every origin story, and I think that's what was bugging me. This is what bugged me technically because for some reason, my brain decided to do the worst thing possible, and that was to put the Michael B. Jordan movie on it, the Michael B. Jordan version of Fantastic Four on, prior to seeing this one.
Like condolences.
I know, seriously, and like I'm looking at the 2015 version, and I'm like, how did they even get away with telling this kind of story? It didn't make sense. I mean, the ending of that one, they just came up with the name, and it's like, really? Like we know, you know. But no, I mean, seeing this one again.
My whole thing with the 2015 Fantastic Four movie is it's not a bad comic book movie. It's just a bad movie, period.
Yeah, it's just a lot of it didn't make sense. Like I understand getting the powers and things like that, but you wasted an hour because technically the movie was what, an hour and some change?
Yeah, about that.
In something you could have done in 20 minutes.
I know that the 2015 movie took about an hour before anything of note and or interesting happens.
Well, that was the problem with it because it was like, oh my god, the guy that played Doom was down there, and then you waited because the whole movie, the whole thing was one fight scene. That's what it was, and it was just like, no, it doesn't make sense. But anyway, going back to the Marvel Fantastic Four, cast was great. Everything was great about it. I'm sure you've seen the Pedro Pascal. You know, everybody's like, oh, he really has anxiety that he has to like touch everybody's wife. But you know, I'm sure you see that backlash. But no, I liked it.
Man, they got no wrong. Pedro's done nothing wrong, Mike.
I mean, I know, but you know,
He's America's dad at this point, dude.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm like, I get it because if I have anxiety, I'm not going at everybody's wife or girlfriend and going, hey, like
Yep.
it's just a bit weird for me. But no, I get it. I mean, I respect Pedro. I mean, Pedro, shit, did 9 movies this year?
Maybe 10 at this point.
Probably.
And he and an 8-episode TV show, which
I mean, he made what 350 mil in 1 year. So I ain't mad at him.
I was surprised that they haven't announced him for New York Comic Con yet at this point.
I think they'll make an appearance somehow.
Yeah, and I also want to say that Julie Garner, the Silver
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
She was probably my favorite out of the entire cast.
Yeah, absolutely. I just appreciate it. I know people are gonna give me some slack for it, but I appreciated that the movie was like 4 years into them getting their powers. We saw the flashbacks of like them going up and coming back, but like give us more of that. I do kind of feel like a lot of stuff was cut out though. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel like
I really appreciated that they did the origin through an interview on a talk show.
Right.
Which really works for the Fantastic Four more than any other character.
Yeah, for sure. No, but I loved it. I would definitely go see it again for a third time, but I think 2 is enough. Definitely 2.
I was thinking of going to take my dad to go see it to cheer him up a little bit, but I heard the weather's being. This is like between the heat wave and I was looking on my phone that there's flood watches. I'll just see what the weather's like tomorrow. I'll take it from there.
Yeah, man. No, fantastic movie. Literally, I enjoyed it. I think the build up was slow, but when it picked up very nicely. And of course, my fucking startle reflex went crazy. But what can I do?
Yep.
Because I was like, I saw it in New Brunswick, in IMAX. So I knew, all right, I'm in the front, like that shit's gonna go crazy. Then I go see it in Menlo, and I'm like, all right, I'm all the way back. So let me see if it still affects me volume wise. And sure enough, I was like, God damn it! I thought if I was trying to cure my startle reflex, but obviously we all know
you don't have to watch the movie with a headset on for the audio descriptive.
Well,
because when you have a movie like the Fantastic Four where the sound gets super loud because of in it.
Yeah.
Just imagine that and trying to hear another audio track on top of it sometimes.
Yeah, man, it's insane. But no, I actually like Paul Walterhauser's character too. I want to see where they go with that as well. So,
yeah, we're in for good times. We're in for good times, and we also got Peacemaker season 2 coming up soon.
Yeah, very true. I think I don't know if it got moved, but we got Gen V coming out in.
Yeah, they actually just showed some stuff for San Diego Comic Con for Gen V, so I think that's right around the corner too.
Yeah, September, I believe.
Yeah,
but no, I'm kind of like staying away from like trailers and rumors and things like that because you see all that, and so going into like our next thing, which is a wrestling thing. Obviously we'll get into that.
Let's start. I just figured we would start because last week was a big week for passings between Ozzy and Hogan.
Yeah.
My condolences to the families and the colleagues and the friends of both Ozzy and Hulk Hogan.
For sure. I was more Hulk Hogan, NWO.
Same here.
Than Ozzy. I know what Ozzy is. I understand what he did for heavy metal music. Actually, it's funny because shit. Going back to it, when my friend passed away from cancer, the last thing I remember him doing was he tried to drive me home in his car because I'm like, yo, let's just try this out. Didn't work out because obviously he smoked marijuana or whatever. So like he's high, and obviously sometimes when you're high, you can't figure shit out. You know, again, rest in peace to his soul. But like I remember him throwing on the T-Pain version of War Pigs because I don't know if you know
I know which version it is.
anybody's a T-Pain fan, but I was like, and then when he threw it on, I'm surprised because I'm like, I never expected him to listen to T-Pain, but I knew how much of like an old school music head he was, and I remember him going, "Yo, I actually like this because he killed it." So I'm like, and then when you saw like T-Pain reach out, and then I ended up seeing Ozzy was like, "Yo, this is the best cover I've ever heard. Like, why didn't you guys call me?" So, I understand what Ozzy is for music and for those fans, but obviously for
I
me,
didn't become a hardcore Ozzy fan until the MTV show.
well, yeah, I think that was my like introduction to like him too.
There's just one thing in the pilot of that show where he's like, where he's yelling at Shannon, I can't get the stuck in TV to work.
Yeah, the one
And I
that
just
got
like fell
me,
in love with the whole family after that.
yeah, the one that got me was I think Ozzy was preparing for like a concert or something, and like sharing for some reason fucking like did a whole bunch of bubbles, and Ozzy's just like, you got me a fucking buttload of bubbles. Do you understand I'm the Prince of Darkness? And I just the way he like said things is very cosmic, comedic. So
And
I'm
if
sure like
anyone wants to watch some classic Sharon Osbourne, I know
yeah,
they're on YouTube. Her appearances on Howard Stern, where she's fighting with the Insane Clown Posse.
oh god.
You know,
Yeah, man, but my condolences to the Osbournes. And as you know, I my wrestling journey for me as far as a fandom started around 96, 97, and I was like you, going back and forth when WWE or WWF at the time was on commercial. I would jump to Nitro. That
and then eventually, you know, what my brother and I would do is when we got tired of doing that, we just would tape Nitro and watch Raw live, and
yeah.
then and flip flop every other week depending on what the main event was.
Yeah, it's funny because crazy, but I don't think this happened to me, but I'm pretty sure if anybody knows me, they know the story of how I ended up going to a Nitro back in 97. I met Rey Mysterio. I don't remember Hogan coming out, but I kind of feel like the kid that was with me that I ended up meeting somehow met Hogan, and I don't know if I met Hogan. I don't think so, but I do remember like seeing Hogan in the ring. I don't think I met him. I'm gonna have to like go back and like find that out and then
I
see
met
it.
I met Hogan twice,
Yeah.
both in 2000. I'm gonna say 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
Once was at the New York Comic Con,
Yeah.
and that was a line that lasted forever.
Yeah.
But he was cooler than I thought he was going to be in person,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my picture of the. I now feel unfortunately my autograph photo of the OG NWO is never going to be complete.
Yeah.
God rest Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows me knows that Razor Ramon was the first professional wrestler I became a fan of, to a point where I followed him in every promotion he was ever in.
Yeah, I think God, who was my I can't even there was like so many people that like impacted me back then. Of course it was Stone Cold Triple H. I think the first time this match gets brought up every time. But the Halloween Havoc, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. That was like for me, that was like, oh my God. And then being able to meet him, I still gotta see if I like have the photo or if like I could meet him again somehow and try to bring back that photo any way possible and be like, hey, do you remember this kid at all? But it's crazy that you say like not every your NWO is not gonna be complete, and it kind of brought me back to just when was it yesterday, maybe the day before. Somebody was like, "Hey, are you going to SummerSlam?" And I was like, "No." They were like, "Oh, kind of weird because I figured you would be there, and obviously everything I'm trying to combat and like
Yeah, yeah. You and
free
I,
myself
we
up."
were both in that department, so
Yeah,
yeah, I get it.
but they ended up, and I don't know if you know, but like I think Lyndhurst is more your area.
Yep.
So Jey Uso is gonna be at the shop right, and on Friday from 11 to 1, I think. And I'm just like, yeah,
And of all the places to be at, ShopRite.
yeah, something like that. But nah, and I'm just like, do I go? Do I not go? But I wanted to ask.
Like I said,
Shit,
I
my
put
bad.
I put my wad in the Kevin Smith on Sunday, so
Yo, Alex guy, you just missed technically the conversation, but if he does come on again, I'll make sure to like write that down or let Adam know.
what's going on?
So, Alex guy on YouTube goes, don't want to change the conversation, but I wanted to ask Zach about Tuxedo Man and his experience doing a one man show. So if he comes on again, I'll make sure to.
Well, they're just gonna have him come back on in the future. I'm sorry you missed him. He was on for half an hour, and I probably could have kept him a little longer, but he's gracious enough to share his time, so I do apologize for that.
For sure, I'll try
We'll
to.
definitely schedule sometime in a couple months to have him come back. And,
Yeah, or I don't. We'll figure it out.
we'll definitely figure it out.
Some way to get that question answered.
Yep.
But
Like I said, everyone who's been watching this show for years knows I love to bring people back on.
You're good. Now we'll definitely get them. Well, Adam got them. I'm just here supporting. But
hey man, we're a team.
But I mean, you get most of the guests. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just here supporting. Nah, but yeah, I mean, everybody arrives late. We'll definitely.
But thank you for coming coming and checking out the show. And
Hell yeah, we'll get that answered for sure.
And like I said, I do apologize that you missed Zach.
Yeah. Shit. But yeah, with the whole going back to the whole Jey Uso thing, I'm like, bro, do I even wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning just to try to have somebody drive me all the way up there? And it's just like I would appreciate it. Like it's
at least a half an hour from. You're at least a half an hour, maybe an hour from Lyndhurst too.
Probably about 45 minutes if there's no traffic. But I'm like, bro, just to go up 45 minutes, probably wait on a fucking line to then. Obviously, if I went, they would probably find a way to like boost me to the front. But still, it's like, do I really want to travel all the way over there just to try to meet Jey Uso when I can't really talk to him? Because in my brain, I'm like, yo, I got to get this line to move, da 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 da. And it's just like, it's cool. But like, I would rather next year go to Fanatics Fest, try to figure that out, and then try to meet them there. You know?
Yeah, I think next year for Fanatics Test, since I just got approved for Fat Expo and I'm you know, feeling positive about applying for things a little bit more often. I think we'll try for press next year for Fanatics and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a way for Fanatics Fest because when you mentioned it, I didn't find like a link for it. But I think there is a link for it. I just have to look the next time there is a list. But no, because I know my friend got it, but he messed up a name or something, and they didn't approve him. So kind of sucks. But no, I would love to meet the people, especially with like touchy topic, but especially with like Unreal on Netflix coming out. I would want to know like what the wrestlers are thinking now. Like, hey, this is too much information. Is this cool? Because we shot this months ago. So like, I don't know. I want to know from a wrestler standpoint how they feel about all this information just now coming out to the masses. Because we knew in our heads, but we never really cared about the game plan of like everything.
I actually feel that I'm seeing this more and more in every form of entertainment. It's like, fuck, we don't need to know every little detail of everything that goes into making something sometimes.
We don't.
It's, I feel with Unreal, it's a little too much. I don't need to see how John Cena's heel turn was scripted, even though I don't think they knew it to the day of, because I don't think.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it was supposed to be Kevin Owens, and then they pivoted to Cena, and I'm just like, bro, who, like, I mean, if you want to put it that way, look what they're doing with Cena. It's technically not a real heel turn.
Actually, I'm hearing rumors that they're going to turn him back to face before the end of the year.
That I think.
And lately, what was it, 2 weeks ago when they did the contract signing? I've already seen the seeds being planted to do the infamous Stone Cold Bret Hart double turn.
I believe that's where they're going.
And right now he's in Peacemaker promo mode too.
Yeah, so it would make sense for him. But my question is, I mean, if they do it with Cody, do you feel like it's too early?
I think in order to do it, if they're going to do it, doing it with Cena is right. Maybe SummerSlam's a little too early, but
well, that's the reason why I was going to mention it, because I have a feeling if they're gonna do the turn, they kind of have to do it at SummerSlam, because the rumor is they're doing it this weekend.
Yeah,
or everybody is kind of expecting it to happen this weekend.
And it's kind of hard to have your number one heel in the company doing like 40 videos promoting stuff at San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
And being addict and just being an overall nice guy to everyone in every video.
Well, yeah, I think but the rumor is they're doing it this weekend. So
I wouldn't be surprised if that was how they ended SummerSlam. But my thing, who do you put Cody up against as Cody being a heel at this point?
do you see that's the problem? Do you then go into a program with him and Cena? I don't know. But we've already seen that. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah. Amazon, stop.
Unless this is what they do. They do the double turn. Then with Cody as the heel champion, you have Cody and Randy run it back. That'd be the only explanation.
That would work. You could move. My other thing is you could probably move Jay over to SmackDown for a little bit.
Nah, he's too pivotal to Raw right now to move him.
Alright.
He's too pivotal because you just got Roman back. So
That is true.
you just got Roman back. So I don't see them moving Jay right now.
Alright, then keeping it within the theyt family. The Samoa mother bleeping werewolf.
I mean, Jacob's already becoming a face. So
Alright, he's gotten, like the loudest pops I've seen in a while.
yeah, I mean, he's getting pops. Dom Mysterio's getting pops, which
Which was the question what I was going to segue into.
that's expected.
Do you think they make him the AAA champion?
Oh, that's a good question. Fuck.
Because I have not seen a pop like that when he got in AAA.
Yeah, dude literally had goosebumps. There's a photo of like his arm zoomed in, and you could see he had goosebumps. So, nah, they know what they're doing. Do they make him champion? I don't know.
Make him.
Because you have him going up against AJ. Do I see AJ winning the IC title? Probably not. So it's just like, speaking of AJ, I would love to see AJ go back to TNA for like one more. I mean, this expected.
I just think that's the game plan.
Yeah, the game plan is to have him retire in TNA technically,
Yes.
which I would love to see. I would love to see the part.
That would be a nice way to expand the war of
Yeah.
TNA and WWE
Yeah.
outside of NXT and TNA.
Yeah, I would love that. I wish it wasn't such a NXT TNA thing. I would love it to kind of see more of a mainstream thing. Because imagine you get John Cena before the end of this going to TNA and facing Joe Henry. That's two powerhouses.
That would be awesome.
Both companies.
Unfortunately, my favorite TNA star is a producer now, so that seeing the return of Bobby Roode in the ring is not happening.
Well, I mean, my favorite TNA people aren't even there, so so I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. I'm really loving what TNA's doing too. I meant to go back and like watch Slammiversary, just never did. But no, I think
I saw little clips. I also saw AJ giving an interview of how much he hates his original TNA theme song too.
Yeah, and that's so funny because he came out to it at Slammiversary. So I wonder if they didn't tell him.
I don't think they told him because he was like, I hate that song. I never want to hear it again.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, man. What do I need? I need
TV for my butthole.
Nah, I need Liv Morgan to come back.
A couple months.
Hey man, thank you, Alex, for coming into the chat.
Alex, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, but I need Liv Morgan back. How soon? No idea. But
yeah, she'll be back.
Yeah, she'll be back.
My whole thing is that when she comes back, they're gonna wind up turning her face too.
Yeah, they have to. There's no way they have to. There's no possible way. But
like I said, I could see with the whole Dominic thing right now.
Yeah.
I could see happening is him losing to AJ, and that's with some interference by the Judgment there, and that brings a catalyst to have him turn face on both parts of the promotion.
Yeah, but why? So, because this brings me back to the original idea. Why would you have him lose to AJ and then bring Liv back as a face, turning him as a no? Because Finn needs to go face. But then, how do you do that? That's a good question.
That is true.
unless down the line, because I don't know if Liv is clear or whatever. Down the line, you kind of do the double swerve with Liv. You have Liv kind of come back, be like, Dom, I got you. Fucking Dom in the balls, and then you have Liv line up with. Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make that much sense ever, man.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing because bringing in Roxanne Perez kind of fucked it up.
Well, actually, they actually wound up having to jump the gun in that storyline because of the injury too.
Well, yeah, that's true, but
I think it was supposed to have a lot. I think it was supposed to have a slower build up.
Yeah,
and they were supposed to lose the tag team champions to the Bella Twins at Evolution originally.
Yeah. But it's just I don't know what they're gonna
Bella
do.
Twins, those geriatric dinosaur-looking women.
Well, only Nikki's back because apparently Brie is saying that because Brian's working for AEW, WWE doesn't want to bring her back. So.
Yep, I remember calling that a couple weeks back too.
So I don't know, man. No, but I don't know how they do it because if you're gonna bring Liv back face, somebody needs to be face coming out of it. But I feel like Finn needs it more.
That's true. Yeah.
Again,
and maybe I'm so excited because I'm a huge the OG AAA before WWE.
Yeah.
That I want to see Dom just be a face now, because I feel he deserves it.
Yeah, shit. Finn needs it, but Dom is there. Dom's like that tweener where like Rhea Ripley is in between. She could be face or heel, depending on where you need her. But
yeah,
that'd be fire.
Just give the man some chicken nuggets. Yeah. We'll all keep on
chicken tenders, actually. Not
tenders.
I believe so.
You know what? I don't know. You're dealing with someone when it deals with that stuff. I'm dealing with little kids, and they just call whether it's a tender or a nugget. Everything is chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I just don't know where they're gonna go, and I don't know because now I saw on Raw, or I saw a clip where Io was kind of talking to Rhea, and then Rhea had a rose in like her pocket or her outfit. So I don't know if that's planting the seed for maybe a Rhea and Dom reunion. That'd be cool. I just don't know where they're gonna go.
Yep.
So it's gonna be interesting.
I also want to congratulate Io Sky and her because her in the last 2 months her English has improved to a point.
Oh my god, yeah.
To a point where I can finally understand what the hell she's saying in her promos now.
Yeah. No, yeah, everybody's English is improving. I think Stephanie Vaquera's English is phenomenal. So
it's a great time to be a fanboy in the world.
Yeah.
It's a great time with everything going on in the world right now. And my heart goes out to everyone in Hawaii with the tsunami right now, and just the way the world is. We all need things to take us to escape to and have fun with, and I feel it. With movies and TV and wrestling and comics and everything, we got some good times ahead of us right now.
Yeah, man. I don't know with Unreal, like if it's something that was pre-planned or how long they're looking to run it, but keep it like that. You know what they? I don't know.
You know what? I would rather invest the time in the because they put 6 episodes out almost every year or two now. I'd rather watch Dark Side of the Moon.
It just started, so I don't know if it's gonna be every year, but no, I kind of feel like that'd be something they can work it. I just kind of feel like it's just gonna keep getting backlash, but everything gets backlash.
Everyone has to player haters, man.
You know,
Superman had player haters. I didn't see as much player hate for the Fantastic Four as what I was going to say.
No, people still hated it. I saw negative comments. I was like, "What the hell?"
I probably did. I just didn't see as much for Fantastic Four. And like I said, I've been busy the last couple of days on and off.
Yeah, for sure.
Also dealing with a few personal issues behind the scenes. So I haven't really been. I've only been glancing and not been reading like entire threads of comics the way I normally would.
Yeah. Oh man, I get it. I don't know. Maybe Unreal is just something they do they film it at the end of the year and then it drops. So you get
maybe
I don't know. They're gonna
maybe they film it throughout the year and just drop it at the end.
Maybe. I don't know. But it's huge for Netflix right now. So
I'll have to check it out more.
I don't blame them.
I've been catching up with a lot of motion comics and I still eventually have to watch Sandman season 2.
Yeah. I saw good reviews on that.
Yeah, I heard nothing but good things. I just, like I said, not enough time in the day sometimes.
Yeah, man.
And with that, JB, where can the good people find you on the interwebs?
The internet, that would be everywhere at I am JV Wheels. Guys, keep in mind I do not have the apps on my phone anymore, so I don't know if I get a mention or something. It may take me a couple days. So yeah, but that's pretty much where you can follow me. And I look like the fakest concerto of all time. Anyway, but yeah,
concerto.
Yeah.
Before we get going, you think AEW they're gonna reunite Mr. Copeland and Mr. Christian?
Oh yeah, that's where they're going. Wow, they fucking botched stuff out of it. Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna look forward to that when that happens.
No,
bring back nostalgia.
No, yeah, they're bringing them back, but that concerto looked bad.
Check it out. As always, first of all, I want to thank the official pizzeria, DeMarco's Pizza, for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah.
DeMarco's Pizza is located at 1926 Union Deli Road, New Jersey 07421 973-728-1344, and www.demarcospizza.com. Tell them Blind Adam sent you. Mention the podcast or Blind Adam and get free garlic nuts. And you can follow me at Instagram at The Real Blind Adam, X at The Comic Pimp. You can email me at therealblindadam@gmail.com and whatnot/comic VIP. eBay Blind Adam, Mini Vids Blind Adam. And I'll have more platforms to come. Remember, you don't need set to have a vision. It's not what episode you do. It's what you do about it. And I want to once again thank our special guest, Zartan, Zack Hoffman. That was Dreams Do Come True. Please chase your dreams. You will definitely catch them if you even if you take a baby step, you will find them. With that, I'm going to recover my voice. I love you all. Blind Adam out.